Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about tips and tricks on how to improve your editing. First we'll be talking about binds for your controller, pro controller or normal controller. Then we'll be talking about sensitivity and how this can improve your editing. And last we'll be talking about techniques that actually help editing, the editing techniques. I'll be putting timestamps in the description for you to look at if you only want to know one specific subject. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so for part 1, if you're still on, let's say, old school Quick Builder, Combat Pro, I don't know, I strongly recommend switching over to Builder Pro, because why would you make it harder for yourself to build or to do stuff? I know it might be tough for you to switch because you're so used to the Combat Pro switching, but believe me, you're gonna build so much faster with Builder Pro or edit. Actually, it's so much easier, and I just strongly recommend it for anyone. If you don't want it, okay, I just recommend it. Also, turn on that auto run, because for the first normal controller bindings, you're gonna need that. Alright, so before we get into the first part, I just wanted to say real quick, these are not the best controller bindings by far. I just recommend these. You don't have to take to use them. Use whatever you like. That's what I recommend. It's always the best what you are comfortable with. And now that we've got that out of the way, let's start with the first binds. So as far as I know, the fastest way to edit without pedals for both normal controllers and pro controllers with 2 pedals on the back, bind your edit to the left stick, bind your confirm to the left stick, and your reset and stuff can just be the same. Oh yeah, and bind your crouch to and / repair to your B button. That's useful. This is the reason I say this is useful for scuffing controllers with 2 pedals too is because the one I'm gonna show you after this, you do need at least 3 pedals or more. So let's get on with it. Alright, so the next binds are for the users out there who have a pro controller with 4 or more additional buttons on their controller. Doesn't matter if they are pedals or buttons on the front or on the side. I know the Scuff Vantage has that. But yeah, I recommend binding one of the external buttons to the edit, which is left on the D-pad. Mine is left from, I think, yeah. It's a button in the front, it's not a pedal. Make that edit, then make B confirm, and make another external button the reset. That's X for me. That's the button right next to the edit button. I pressed it with my right long finger thingy. I don't know what you call it. Anyway, make that reset. Sprint by default is on. Sprint and auto sprint still on that. Crouch repair on your thumbstick, of course. Yeah, that's it. These are my favorite binds, and they are so freaking useful, and I can edit so well with them, and I'm so happy I have them. And I don't know what you think about it. You can copy them, you can adjust them. I hope they really help you out. Let's get on with the next part. Alright, so for the sensitivity, as you may already know, the building sensitivity decides how fast you can edit this. Alright, so for the sensitivity, as you may already know, the building sensitivity decides the sensitivity in editing. So the higher your building sensitivity, the higher your editing sensitivity, and the harder it's gonna be to control it. But if you control it correctly, if you can control it, it's gonna be super useful. It's gonna be so much faster to edit and feel so much smoother. This is why I strongly recommend to turn up that building sensitivity. If you're on 1.20 right now, just turn it up to 1.5 or something, 1.50. I mean, just try it out. Try learning it. Slowly turn it up. Step by step. It's gonna be so useful, and I'll show you why in the next step. Also, think about turning down that dead zone. You may not really know what it means, but the lower your dead zone, the less reaction time your thumbstick needs for your character to move in game. So mine is really low right now. I barely move my thumbstick, and it's already moving. But if I turn it up to, let's say, 60, 70, yeah, why not? I'm making the exact same movement. As you can see, it's not doing anything. I hope that gives you a bit of a, yeah, vision. I don't know what to call it, but what that zone means. So I recommend putting it on like 15 at first, and slowly turning it down to 0.12. This one, it's not really, doesn't really do anything except for the right thumbstick for your movement. So yeah, you can turn it down. It's not really gonna do anything. Oh yeah, watch out! Don't turn it down all the way to 5, because then if you do something, it might start drifting. Drifting means that if you're not touching your thumbstick, it will just start moving on its own. Don't do that. That's not a smart thing to do. Whoops. All right, let's get on to the third step. All right. So for the third and final step, we'll be taking a look at a technique that I've seen in a couple of videos, and I've never even heard someone say a name for it, so I just call it cutting, because you're literally just slicing away those parts of the wood. You do have to watch out if you place it like right here and go like that, you'll mess up. So you do have to go from side to side so you hit all of the blocks, okay? And then you'll just like whack, you know, whack. Sometimes you will mess up, of course. Just practice that. This is not only for the small thingies. You can also use it for the top, or go like this. You know, it's not really slicing anymore. It's just kinda feels like it. This is also why I wanted you to choose higher sensitivities. It's gonna feel cleaner and faster. And yeah, that's basically it. This is also works for these kind of things. Alright, just so you know. So that's basic. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Also, I really hope you learned something, because that's the reason of this video. If you still have questions, feel free to ask them down in the comments below. If you made it this far into the video, say chicken nuggets, so I know that you watched all the way through. Subscribe if you want to see more, of course. Like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.